I quit my ER job 2 days before Christmas and left them completely short-staffed for the holiday. For 12 years, I had been the one who worked every Christmas Eve and Christmas Day in the emergency room. I started doing it back when my daughter was grown and my husband had passed, and I figured someone with little kids at home deserved to watch them open presents more than I needed to sit alone in my living room. The first few years, my coworkers hugged me and cried and told me I was saving their families. They promised they would pay me back someday, and I believed them because I thought that was how it worked when you showed up for people year after year. In late April, my daughter called me sobbing happy tears to tell me she was pregnant with her first baby, due December 20th. I submitted my Christmas time off request 8 months in advance, and I remember feeling almost embarrassed about asking because I had never asked for anything before. HR told me my request was under review, which seemed strange given how early I had submitted it, but I trusted the process. Then the comments started. "You're really taking Christmas this year?" one coworker asked with her eyebrows raised like I had announced something ridiculous. In September, another coworker mentioned in the break room that she hoped I wasn't serious about my request because her kids were still young enough to believe in Santa, and mine wasn't. She said it casually like she was commenting on the weather. On December 15th, my granddaughter arrived 5 days early, and I spent 3 days at the hospital holding her and helping my daughter and feeling like my whole life had been leading to this moment. On December 18th, I checked my work email and found a message from HR informing me that my request had been denied due to operational needs and that seniority did not guarantee holiday preference. I kept my composure and walked to the break room to get coffee, and that's when I heard two coworkers talking around the corner. "I don't get why she's making such a big deal," one of them said. "It's not like the baby's going anywhere." The other one laughed and added, "Right? Babies sleep like 20 hours a day. She can see it when she gets home." I stood there holding my empty mug and didn't say a word. I walked back to my locker and sat down on the bench. On the morning of December 23rd, I walked into my supervisor's office and told her I was resigning effective immediately. Her face went pale and she started stammering about how I was their most experienced trauma nurse, and the holiday schedule was already finalized and I couldn't possibly do this 2 days before Christmas. I told her my request was submitted 8 months ago and denied, and this was no longer my problem. She picked up the phone and called HR right in front of me, begging them to offer me anything to stay. I walked out and cleaned out my locker and drove home without looking back. That evening, my phone started lighting up. First, it was HR offering double pay, then triple pay, then a week of PTO on top of it. I let every call go to voicemail. Then the texts from coworkers started coming in one after another. "I can't believe you'd do this after everything we've done for you. You're really going to do this to us right before Christmas? You do realize people are suffering because you wanted to make a point, right?" I read each one and didn't respond. By the next morning, the tone had shifted from angry to desperate. "Please just answer your phone. We're completely underwater here. I'm begging you to come in. You're 58 years old. How many more Christmases do you really need?" My supervisor left a voicemail saying she was sorry about everything and asking if we could talk. I deleted it without listening past the first sentence. I turned my phone off and spent the day holding my granddaughter. On Christmas Eve, I turned it back on, and it rang almost immediately. It was the coworker who had talked about her kids believing in Santa. I let it ring 3 times before I answered. I could hear chaos in the background, voices yelling over each other, someone paging a doctor, a patient crying. "6 hours, she said, and her voice was shaking. "We're 6 hours behind, and I'm going to be here all night. I just had to call my husband and tell him I'm not coming home. My kids are going to wake up tomorrow, and I won't be there because of you." I didn't say a word. "You could have at least given us more notice instead of springing this on everyone," she said. I took a breath. "You had 8 months to figure it out. Merry Christmas." I hung up and put the phone in a drawer. I spent Christmas morning on my daughter's couch with my granddaughter asleep on my chest and the tree lights blinking soft colors across the room. My daughter brought me coffee and kissed the top of my head and told me she was so glad I was there. I didn't think about the ER once.